Item Number SCP-4373 Object Class Euclid Security Level 4 Special Containment Procedures. Special Containment Procedures have been updated following the year 2020, August 25th. See Addendum 4373-2. The total global population of the infra-order Cetacea is to be kept below 70 million. The Foundation is to support continued commercial whaling of these species in order to prevent population levels from approaching this threshold. Any instances of SCP-4373-1 located by ocean-based mobile task forces are to be tagged with a GPS tracking device for study of migratory patterns or brought into Foundation custody for testing. All SCP-4373-1 instances are to be terminated after testing. Description: SCP-4373 is a pattern in noises made by cetacean species while communicating or using echolocation. While all cetacean species have been observed utilizing SCP-4373 in testing, only 22% of them are known to do so outside of captivity. SCP-4373 paralyzes members of the superorder Zircoiamorpha, aka sharks, that hear it, usually resulting in death by asphyxiation or predation. The effect of SCP-4373 decreases further away from the origin of the sound, becoming mostly non-effective past approximately 100 meters. Paralysis from SCP-4373 is not permanent, though most sharks expire before regaining mobility. Cetaceans found using SCP-4373 in the wild or trained to use it in testing are designated as SCP-4373-1 instances. These cetaceans primarily utilize SCP-4373 for hunting sharks as prey or warding off predatory shark species. Cetaceans who do not prey on or not preyed upon by sharks, such as minke whales, have been observed using SCP-4373 to disable sharks in competition for the same food source. Autopsies of toothed whale SCP-4373-1 instances have found that the melon, note, a mass of fatty tissue and air sacs found in the foreheads of toothed whales that acts as a sound lens for the purpose of communication and echolocation, transmits sounds faster than what the measured density would allow. SCP-4373 has not been sufficiently studied in other types of whales to determine what effect it has on their physiology. SCP-4373 spreads exponentially, affecting cetaceans at an increasing rate as the total number of SCP-4373-1 instances increases. Should SCP-4373-1 instances reach a global population over 70 million, SCP-4373 becomes widespread enough to resonate even with non-anomalous cetaceans. This creates a cascade effect that is lethal to all non-cetacean marine life within 500 kilometers of the affected cetacean pod. See Addendum 4373-2. Addendum 4373-1 Discovery. SCP-4373 was first discovered by GOI 18153, the Shark Punching Center, in the pod of beluga whales. Since its discovery, GOI 18153 have employed SCP-4373-1 instances to use their primary objective, combating sharks in ritualized type of combat referred to as Seleucian pugilism. The exact date of discovery is unknown, as captured SPC operatives have not specified any exact time, stating only that they learned of the gnarly noises over decades of mutual blunt force justice against the Seleucian menace. On the year 2018, February 14th, a member of the SPC seen with an instance of SCP-4373 was captured and brought to Site-189, note, a site specializing in oceanic anomalies, for questioning. The following was recorded by a Foundation submarine en route to Site-189 prior to capture of the SPC agent. Interview log 4373-1. Interviewed Coach Bay Russell, a captured member of the Shark Punching Center. Interviewer Researcher Michael Grooms. Forward. Coach Bay Russell was brought in for questioning in regards to SCP-4373 and any possible GOI 18153 involvement in its creation. Begin log. When did you first become aware of this sound? Huh? The one that paralyzes sharks? You had a porpoise using it with you when we brought you in. Oh, you mean SPC-3930. Is that what your organization calls it? I think so. You want to know more about it? Well, one day I just had gotten back from this mission against those damn hammerheads, and they had this tank full of porpoises. They told me the porpoises were a new anti-shark weapon that we were going to test. So I picked up one of them and named him Georgie, and we started training. So this was when you took on the porpoise, Georgie. Yep, he was just a pup then, but I heard his parents were part of the program too. So your organization has used at least 2 generations of porpoises. Did Georgie take to using SCP-4373 quickly? He did. It took a few months, but eventually I got it so I could make Georgie create SPC-3930 on command. After that, well, let's just say my job got a lot easier. Before I met Georgie, I struggled with bull sharks, but afterwards I was suddenly able to take on freaking great whites. But does that count? Huh? You're punching sharks that are pretty much already dead. And? I'm confused why you consider punching immobilized sharks as second pugilism. Russell appears confused. Sir, we're the Shark Punching Center, not the Shark Wrestling Center. We don't care how the fist winds up in the shark's face, just that it does. It's not as fun as in the old days, though. Why not? I mean, it's just like you said, the sharks don't even fight back anymore. It used to be life or death every day. The adrenaline rush was like nothing you could believe. But then SPC-3930 comes along and the sharks just like float there and wait to be punched. Just some kind of acting like sitting ducks with that creepy look on their face. Look. There's this look they get whenever they hear SPC-3930. It's hard to explain, but it creeps me out. I've never seen anything like it. Though I guess I'd be freaked out too if I was suddenly unable to move while the people punched me to death. Russell laughs and looks over his shoulder. Interesting. Are there any other effects that you noticed? Other than the paralysis? Not really, though. Russell hesitates momentarily before continuing speaking. Doc, have you ever heard something called a pattern screamer? I can't say I have. Ah, okay. It's just something I heard get mentioned by the guys in charge from time to time. I don't really know what it means. Russell shrugs. Do you know anything about these pattern screamers or their relation to SPC-3930? Nope. Okay then. Tell me more about Georgie. Georgie? I love Georgie, man. He has that cute little porpoise face. Whenever I'm feeling down about shark punching or anything else, I just look at him and he instantly makes me feel better, man. He's the best. Have you noticed anything about his behavior that's different from other porpoises? I don't know. I'm not really an expert on marine life. I got a degree in computer engineering before I started working for the center. You should ask one of our researchers. We hired a lot of marine biologists, so one of them could probably tell you. Anything else you would like to tell us? I don't think so. Can I go now? If you have nothing else to say, then yes. but will be in contact with your superiors. End log. Closing statement. Following this incident, Coach Russell was administered amnestics and returned to the Shark Punching Center. The SCP-4373-1 instance was terminated. Addendum 4373-2 Resonant Cascade Event. Incident 4373-A. In 2019, due to the efforts of ocean conservation organizations, the total population of cetaceans rose above 70 million. On the year 2020, June 24th, Site 189 detected a sonar pulse emanated from a pod of humpback whales 400 kilometers away, followed by the mass death of all non-cetacean marine life in the area around the pod. An MTF Theta 5, the bigger boat vessel, was dispatched to the pod's location. However, it never arrived. After a short investigation, the vessel was located by Foundation aircraft without any crew on it, but otherwise undamaged. The crew were never recovered. A cloning and restocking program was performed in response to the mass die-off to partially replenish affected marine life. A cover story blaming the cause of deaths on industrial pollution was released, and Class A amnestics were administered to affected civilian communities. SCP-4373's containment procedures were updated to the current state following confirmation of recontainment. A recording of the whale call recorded just prior to the event is below. Addendum 4373-3 GOI 18153 The Shark Punching Center Correspondence. Following interview 4373-1 and incident 4373-A, Boris Velikova, a senior researcher involved in multiple oceanic anomalies, contacted GOI 18153 in order to confirm the information given by Coach Russell. Their email response is transcribed below. To Dr. Boris Velikova. From Charles Plinth. Honorable members of the Secure, Contain, Protect Foundation, while our two organizations have come into conflict in the past, we still have a lot of respect for you blokes and the things you do for us. There are some center secrets we're not really supposed to be talking about like how we have a secret nuclear strike capabilities, or that we have a hidden moon base for high-risk shark punching experiments, or that the Grand Percolator is really a chick. But I do think we owe you an explanation on this one, so I'll just go out and type it out. SPC 3930 is Pan Screamers. I imagine you'll have some questions for us, so I'll try to answer whatever I can. We didn't invent SCP-3930. We just discovered it. The first whales that could use it were a part of belugas, just north of Russia. Back then, though, it affected everything, not just sharks. You see, these Pan Screamer aren't your old school grubby tentacle monsters. They're a lot more abstract than that. They can exist in anything that contains pans, and a song, even a whale song, is just a pattern of sound. We don't know how the screamers ended up in the whales, but we are always looking for more developed occult modulation techniques, so we were, needless to say, fascinated. We did a few tests, and it worked like a charm. Well, other than a few of our agents not using enough soundproofing, so they heard it, sank into the ocean and drowned. We were amazed by the result, but knew that we need a way to get it to work without losing too many of our own guys. It was a big problem. It didn't seem to have any easy solution. But eventually, we found a breakthrough. We found out how to communicate with the Pan Screamers. We realized they have been using SPC-3930 to try to communicate. We just needed to figure out how to decode the message. Once we did, we figured out that these pound screamers had some issues. Like, I actually feel kind of sorry for them. They don't exist. Or maybe just don't exist the way we do, and our existence is extremely painful to them. They also hate your foundation a lot. But we are the SPC, so we knew one thing. No matter how bad the pound screamers were, the sharks are far, far worse. We thought that we could make them feel better about the whole unending agony when they'd be less willing to kill us. Furthermore, we realized that nothing makes people in Eldritch horrors happier than Circean potentism. So we taught the pound screamers to punch sharks. Turns out the non-existent smaller than neutrino fists are really effective anti-Circean weapons, and it worked. After a few years of communications, we managed to convince the pound screamers to only attack sharks. That's right, we potentially stopped the apocalypse. You're welcome, Secure, Contain, Protect Foundation. Charles Plinth, Bodacious Assembly. Addendum 4373-4, GOI 18153, the Shark Punching Center Threat Level Review. Site-189 was redesignated as a monitoring outpost for all future SPC activities following the update of SCP-4373's containment procedures. Requests to upgrade GOI 18153 to Suppression Advised status were denied after O5 review. One new message. Access granted. Classified. Notice from the desk of 051. To Boris Velikova, Director of Site-189. Subject. Reply. GOI 18153 Threat Assessment. Timestamp. Year 2020, July 2nd. 13:21 hours. Dr. Velikova, we understand your concern given your history of involvement with oceanic projects. But our resources are limited. It is hard to pencil and stop the idiots punching sharks between cleaning up Sarkic monstrosities and outbidding the GOC at a Marshall Carter and Dark auction in the Foundation ledgers. Current containment procedures are holding. Mass marine deaths are easy to explain away as a result of pollution, and it isn't hard to get nations to increase their whaling activity. Is it a shame? Yes, no argument there. Is it worth our time and money? No. Furthermore, I fail to see the danger in letting them pacify one anomaly themselves. If the Center are willing to contain a potentially Keter or Apollyon anomaly for us, I say we let them. Future requests to re-evaluate the SPC will be summarily denied. Sincerely, 051. Addendum 4373-5. GOI 18153 audio file. The attached audio file was recorded by Site-189 following scouting missions on SPC operations in the Arctic Ocean off the western coast of Greenland. Item number SCP-4499, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All 19 known instances of SCP-4499 are contained at Ocean Site 7's Marine Protected Area, MPA. Instances are fixed with tracking devices and are implanted with waterproof shock microchips to deter containment breaches. In preparations for potential future sightings, Foundation web crawlers are to monitor social media for reports of talking sharks in the Pacific Ocean, and undercover Foundation agents are to be permanently situated at all major fishing and ocean tour hubs. A joint task force between Foundation operatives and members of the Shark Punching Center, designated JTF Sigma 2 Ad Blockers, has been established to respond to and contain confirmed SCP-4499 appearances. Description: SCP-4499 refers to an anomalous variation of the Carcharodon calcareus, great white genus of shark. Instances of SCP-4499 appear identical to their non-anomalous counterparts. Autopsies have revealed the presence of a human-like larynx in the subject's throat, hypothesized to be responsible for the anomaly's abilities to produce human vocalizations. Notably, the presence of a standard immobile basilar in place of a human tongue should still impede the pronunciation of numerous sounds, particularly velar and alveolar consonant. However, listeners universally report clear and concise speech, often describing it as smooth and charismatic. Research into the possibility of cognitohazardous methods of information transfer are ongoing. Electroencephalography on SCP-4499 instances revealed increased activity in the left frontal lobe, atypical of standard variants, likely responsible for their ability to process and articulate complex phonetics. Despite speech capabilities, however, SCP-4499 instances do not respond to conversation prompts, instead engaging in infomercial-style sales pitches for various anomalous subjects. Note: refer to Addendum 4499-A1 for a list of SCP-4499 sponsored products. Directed towards any humans in close proximity. How SCP-4499 obtains information on these anomalies is currently unknown, and priority status has been assigned to containment of advertised products not currently in Foundation custody. The length of an advertisement varies significantly. Common sales pitches last anywhere from 30 seconds to 60 minutes. However, on beep occasions, a monologue was recorded lasting in excess of beep hours. Post-test interviews reveal that approximately 85% of subjects report a vested interest in buying the advertised product, stating that they are thoroughly convinced of its necessity by SCP-4499. This is not believed to be the result of any anomalous influence, but instead the highly convincing nature of SCP-4499's advertisements. Addendum 4499-A1. Excerpts from sales pitches. Advertised product: SCP-3521. Dotto's first banana equivalent dose pills. Don't you just hate it when you're trying to smuggle plutonium across the border to start a nuclear war, only for those stick in the mud customs officers to confiscate it and imprison you for life? Well, fret no more, because Dotto has a solution for you. Introducing the first banana equivalent dose pills by Dotto. A mouthful to say, but a stomachful to ingest. How many kilograms of bananas do you think one pill can generate? Not 3, not 6. Folks, I'm here today to tell you popping just one of these pills will give you 9 million kilograms of bananas. That's more than twice the radiation per hour of the Fukushima reactor. Now for you viewers at home, we have a special TV offer. Note: despite extensive investigation, no record of SCP-4499 having ever been broadcast on live television has been found. The first 30 viewers to call the number on your screen will receive not 1, but 2 containers of Dotto's banana pills for the price of 1. Plus, all orders within the next 60 minutes will receive free postage. But hurry, supplies are limited, so call now and we guarantee you'll learn to trust Dotto. Advertised product: Dr. Entertainment's Little Mr. series. Have you ever looked at your friend's anomalous object collections and thought, boy, I wish mine was that impressive? Well, fret no more, friends, because I'm here today to introduce you to the highly impressive, highly collectible Little Mr. series by Dr. Entertainment. Featuring 20 unique anomalous humanoids, you're guaranteed to be the envy of the whole town. Each order includes 1 random Little Mr., plus a free collectible Little Mr. checklist that will automatically take itself off for each and every Little Mr. you get. Find amazing anomalies including Mr. Lie, you won't believe the stuff this guy comes up with. Mr. Mad, we guarantee he'll be the friend you'll only ever imagine. Mr. Stripes, if Facebook think they have your data ready for sale, they've got another thing coming. As always, these products are in limited supply, so be sure to call the number on your screen now, and don't miss out. Disclaimer. Advertise Shark and Advertise Shark Party Limited are not responsible for the disappearance and or delivery failure of Mr. Lost. Advertised product SCP-001 redacted. Sensitive information expunged. Note from 05 Beep. How SCP-4499 obtained this information is currently being treated as an alpha-level containment breach. All involved personnel have been given Class A amnestics. Addendum 4499-A2 Unusual Documented Activity. On Beep 20 Beep. Surveillance equipment monitoring SCP-4499's MPA detected audio patterns consistent with speech. Video recording confirms the following conversation occurred exclusively between two SCP-4499 instances, designated SCP-4499-1 and SCP-4499-2. I don't know, man. I just don't think a statue that kills you when you drink has much of a market. No, trust me, this thing's cool. I can name 10, 20 anomalous zoos that would kill to have one of these things. Dude, it literally smears feces everywhere. Nobody's going to see that. Besides, it won't do anything if everyone's watching it. Crap, you got a point. What about that chainsaw that turns inanimate objects into ghosts? I think you've got something there. Imagine the aesthetic appeal for goths or haunted house owners. Yeah, that's my angle. Here's what I've got so far. Have you ever looked at the bright, colorful world around you and thought, this happy-go-lucky crap is really copying my vibe? Then do we have the product for you? Introducing the chainsaw, the #1 product for making what you see what you saw. Oh, that's nice, man. Loving the tongue-in-cheek slogan. Really catchy. Yeah, I think I've got a bestseller here. Commission's gonna be through the roof. Definitely gonna see what Steve had to say about this. Both SCP-4499 instances depart, and the conversation ends. Concluding statement. No further conversations have been recorded between any SCP-4499 instances. Foundation attempts to identify the chainsaw in question are ongoing.